Kenya, anybody becomes number one in an election, and the one who's number two, after the elections are over, they form a coalition. So that we don't waste this narrative of basically going around these things. The truth is, the reasons of all these handshakes are because of, they are actually a consequence of our failed state. This handshake thing has nothing to do with, oh, we want peace, or, you know, peace is going. No, it is the fact that we have refused to accept that we have different arms of government. We have the legislature, we have the judiciary, and we have the executive, which is the presidency. And we as leadership and people who are elected to do those jobs, we have refused to deal. The reason is we are too corrupt. All right, we have money peddled all over Parliament, National Assembly, Senate, everywhere. You have the judiciary where judges are receiving money to make rulings. Some of them don't even understand that we are affecting the very essence and nature of the state called Kenya.
Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka has dismissed ongoing discussion about a possible political handshake, calling it a clear indication that Kenya's leadership has failed. Speaking during a morning interview on Citizen TV Daybreak, Onyonka said the country is deep broken in and in urgent need of reform, not political deals. The senator argued that the recent push for a dialogue between the government and opposition leaders is not being driven by genuine desire to promote peace, but by the inability of those in power to provide effective leadership. According to Onyonka, Kenyans are struggling with economical hardship, social injustice, and lack of trust in public institutions, issues that can't be solved through political handshake. He emphasized that Kenya's problems stem from poor governance, weak accountability system, and leaders who prioritize power over the need of citizens. Onyonka believed the focus should be on rebuilding public trust, strengthening democracy, and ensuring that the government decisions reflect the will of the people. Senator Onyonka has sparked a national conversation by highlighting the long-standing issue on human rights violation. According to the Kisii senator, every administration since independence has been linked to cases of abuse ranging from political detention, torture to extrajudicial killing and enforced disappearance. Kenyan history is littered with painful events where citizens were mistreated by the very system meant to protect them. From the brutal suppression of political dissent during the Moi Kano era to recent reports of police brutality and lawful arrest, victims and their family have been left with scars, both physical and emotional, that have never fully healed. Onyonka also took aim at President Ruto's government, accusing it of continued this dark legacy by allowing the abduction and illegal detention of Gen Z protesters during the recent anti-government demonstration. He condemned the current administration for failing to respect constitutional rights and called for the immediate release and protection of all young people who have been taken without due process. Senator Onyonka believed that the time has come for the country to take full responsibilities. His message is clear. Kenya must recognize the suffering caused by this violation and provide compensation to all affected individuals and their families. He urges that this is not just a matter of money, but a moral obligation to overcome closure and restore dignity to those rights were denied. For decades, families have waited for justice. In some cases, victims were picked up by security agencies and never seen again. Onyonka's call reignite the push for the national unity, trust, and reconciliation process that does not just document a past violation, but also actively pursue justice for the victims. He wants to see a comprehensive compensation program backed by the government and parliament, one that ensures all victims, regardless of their time period, receive some form of justice.
I'd like to tell my two brothers here that one of the things I would recommend we do, why don't we have a constitutional amendment where we agree that in Kenya, anybody who becomes number one in an election and the one who's number two after the elections are over, they form a coalition. So that we don't waste this narrative of basically going around this thing. The truth is, the reasons of all these handshakes are because of, they are actually a consequence of our failed state. This handshake thing has nothing to do with, oh, we want peace, or, you know, peace is good. No, it is the fact that we have refused to accept that we have different arms of government. We have the legislature, we have the judiciary, and we have the executive, which is the presidency. And we as leadership and people who are elected to do those jobs, we have refused to deal. The reason is we are too corrupt. All right, we have money peddled all over Parliament, National Assembly, Senate, everywhere. You have the judiciary where judges are receiving money to make rulings. Some of them don't even understand that we are affecting the very essence and nature of the state called Kenya. And then you have now an issue where the current administration has actually perfected the excellence of doing business around government and public engagements, whether it is SHA, whether it is SHIF, whether it is whatever you want to do. It is not that these things are not worthy. It is not that we are saying that these things have never meant anything. The truth is, look at what has happened every time there has been these handshakes. What has happened? Number one, and I was one of the people during the time before President Ruto and Raila came in with this handshake thing, we were saying, we are not going for handshake, we want good governance. No. The truth and the reality is, after handshakes, corruption has never reduced. Most probably during Kibaki's time was when there was a little bit of tipping, because we are all watching each other like dogs. The National Assembly, my colleagues who are now in this broad-based government are talking as if they are coming from some world where, according to them, it is their time to eat. My colleagues tell me that. They do not give a damn about good governance. Now they are actually in government, and we can go hang. And I've heard my brothers talk about Sifuna was spitting vitriol. Sifuna is not spitting any vitriol, my brother. Sifuna is telling you what you don't want to listen to. He's telling you that out here, the cost of living is high. Out here, corruption has gone beyond any limits. Look at the Kenya human rights record. Look at the way we've been behaving. Look at the way National Assembly MPs are behaving. I can tell you today, go to the National Assembly and see how many people are attending committee meetings and how many are attending the National Assembly. Everybody's traveled out of the country. Billions of shillings, people are just traveling. It's a fact.
And the offices are locked.
It's a fact. We are not able to pay rent. We can't pay Kenya Power electricity. We have a regime. In fact, many of our embassies, I can tell you today, guys are writing information telling us, you know what, yeah, we don't know what to do. We are taking our kids to go and work in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. What is happening? If you see what we are receiving, these kids are going there, the agreements which are signed, there were no bilaterals, they are being put in the airplanes. When you get to those countries, what happens? The food they are eating is pathetic. The housing that they are getting. In other words, we are failing to understand that the purpose of any management of state resources is to make sure that we serve our public. And my argument is the broad-based government. Look at what is happening this morning. Zoea Sugar has already been sold. The people of Bungoma, they are going crazy. Nobody, there was no public participation, there was no engagement from anybody. Deals are being done. Look at Mumias, look at Chemelil, look at Professor Nyong'o. What is he saying? What Orengo and Nyong'o are talking about is this: the bad behavior that we are supposed to protect Kenyans from a bad government and from our bad behavior of corruption and those deals. What has happened, Ayub? We are now actually camouflaging. We are the ones who are covering the nasty stuff that is being happened, that is taking place in government.
Dr. Martin Olo joins us, the Associate Dean at Daystar School of Law. Good morning, Dr.
Morning, Ayub, and my apologies.
Much appreciated, understandable given the weather.
And I found these three gentlemen busy talking, and Mheshimiwa here. talking. So I may need to be to be helped to come into context. Otherwise, I may go off a handle.
So let me finish.
Yes,
so what I'm saying is this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a national engagement as to whether we should govern ourselves in a certain way or not. There was nothing wrong in the issues which NADCO was raising or BBI. What we are saying today, what Kenya requires is not a coalition government or is not a broad-based government. What Kenya needs is a constituent assembly for leadership and all stakeholders in this republic, for the president to sit there and Raila and all these people who are looking for political office to sit and listen, so that Kenyans can tell them what is broken about our country. Because our country is broken.
I'll come to you.